Dear AMs, are successful women arrogant and impossible to be loved?
Ooh, spicy.
All right.
I like this.
Hey guys, and welcome to Little Black Book. You know what time it is. We're talking to you guys about this particular show, which is on Maria TV. I think they have some really good conversations. Maybe not always the way that you want it to be going down, but it's really good to have these conversations where they discuss a range of different topics. And in this particular one, they discuss about the successful woman and is she arrogant? And I'm going to give you a short, sharp answer in this particular, summary. And then we're going to explore the actual video. Yes. Ooh, I know they'll be coming from me in the comment section. But listen, wait till I get to the end of the video. Then you will see why I say that successful women are arrogant. Not all, but some of them are arrogant. And that's why they're unfortunately finding it more difficult to date. And I'm going to explain why, okay? I'm going to explain why. But let's watch the video a little bit and then we'll comment as we go along.
Let me start off with this one.
This one's gonna be
ready,
spicy.
guys?
Here's what it is. Here's what it is.
All right, break it
Okay.
down.
Y'all ready?
We ready?
Yes.
Best believe.
Yes. The answer is yes.
The answer is what?
The answer is yes, but with reason. Women have to go through a lot to be successful. It's a lot harder for women to be in like a successful position, which makes sense. It's perfect. They go through a lot of conditions that hold them back. Wait, before you get jumpy.
She ready. She ready.
But there's a level of arrogance that comes with it because of how hard they work to get to that position. Now, their arrogance may hold them back from finding, someone of equal or someone to love them. And it's like a lot of dudes don't want to be, as weak as it sounds. A lot of dudes don't.
Hold on, before he goes to that point, I want to explain something because he's going to explain something and go a bit mad. No, let me move like this. I like this. So in regards to why successful women become arrogant, it's very, very simple. Men are arrogant. Toxic masculinity is arrogant. And the trouble is that when women go into the spaces of men and compete, there is a level of arrogance that comes in because that's what the environment requires. When you go in to compete in this world and you try to be successful, you're going to meet some level of testosterone, masculinity, and some arrogance. And because obviously now women enter into that space, as much as they may hold their femininity, when they want to become successful, a lot of the skills and traits you derive from the masculine energy. The trouble is not the masculine energy itself, it's that when you're in these environments, there's a lot of toxic masculinity. Arrogance, pride, misogyny, there's sexism involved, right? There's a lot of different things, combinations in terms of the way that men interact with one another. And when women enter the space to become successful, they actually pick up a lot of these traits and they pick up a lot of this energy as well. So that the arrogance, number one, comes from the environment itself. And because men, if you're in locker room, you'll hear the arrogance of men. You'll hear the pride of men and how they discuss women in their own private closet when they're amongst each other. Number two is this also: the moment you become financially independent, there's a level of arrogance and pride. And I say that almost in a, maybe not arrogance and pride, I should say, but there's a level of, I got my stuff together and I won't accept anything less. Fine. But the difficulty here is that how men and women are perceived in society. Men are perceived as providers. Women are perceived as nurturers. The moment that women become providers, what happens is, due to their nature, and this is just the honest truth, women's nature is to date up due to what society is like, right? And due to the power structure of patriarchy, and since patriarchy is not going to die, we're trying to bring some equilibrium, but it's never going to die at this particular rate, because of patriarchy, and because the man is at the top of the pyramid. Okay, when the woman becomes financially independent, when a woman's in that patriarchy, she will look to date up because it's a power move. It's about ascending. It's about her biology of kids. It's about, the future of her kids, the safety of her kids, the fact that obviously, she has to make sure she's securing herself physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, and financially. And so therefore, oftentimes in the biology of women, due to the construct of the environment that we're in, and due to how society's rules work, women will date up. So you often find successful men don't mind dating down. So when you hear a man who's successful saying, "I can date," it's not often that we hear this. He could date a very beautiful girl who works at McDonald's, and the reason why is simply because of the way society works and the way it views men and women and their roles. Do you see what I'm saying? So now when the woman becomes financially independent or able to hold her own financially, she's still dating up. And that's the issue. As she begins to date up, she can't now look at men on her equilibrium. Now, here's the thing. Arrogance actually resides on both men and women's side. Men are arrogant that they can't date women on their level or date above them. Ooh. Man, them don't want to know about, they want to say them things there, do they? Man, them struggle. I'm going to keep it 100% true. And it's going to be in this video. They're going to show it. He's going to talk about it. Men actually really struggle to date a girl that's funnier than them, more intellectual than them, more wiser than them, more stronger than them, more successful than them. We struggle to date women like that because the way that patriarchy works, there's a level of arrogance and pride that comes from being the main one. And like I said, when women enter into that sphere to begin to earn their income and their finances and their bread and become successful in this field, they begin to pick up that same energy. And then couple that with the fact they date up, now they can now only date men who they see as their equals or above them. And anybody lower than them, they don't want to know. The same. So what you'll see is that men can't date up, women can't date down. There's arrogance on both sides. Okay, it just affects us differently in how it's portrayed. So when these women, and we're gonna see it come in a second, when these women start talking about, we can, how they date and stuff, and about the fact that they feel like they're not arrogant. Listen, there is a level of arrogance on both parties, but they don't want to admit it at first because they actually can't see it. Because oftentimes, what's the rhetoric is in society is that women are oftentimes far more approving or far more open to dating a spectrum of men, but the trouble is that they are successful now, and so now they're successful. There's a height to drop. That's why when men are successful, they date women. They can date women who are not successful, and nobody says a thing. A woman who's successful dates a man that's lower down, and suddenly is a bit of a knit and a natter because of the roles that we're being assigned. But let's watch a little bit more, and we'll discuss a bit more as well. All right, let's watch a bit more, and we'll discuss a bit more.
Be one of the women who's like more successful than
So
that.
you put the word in there for us, which is weak.
Yes, I did. Yeah.
Are you saying that men are weak and they
I
can't
didn't say
handle
that. I didn't say that.
a
I didn't say
successful
that.
woman?
I didn't say that.
Wait, I didn't even say the word. I didn't even say the word. I said strong.
I don't know why he's gaslighting her. Like, for banter or no banter, like that, boys, let's not do that. Like on a real thing, let's not do that. Like, you definitely said weak, like the evidence is there, and he's like, no, I didn't say that, I said strong. Bro, like, don't do that. Let's not do that. I hate stuff like that. Don't gaslight the person, man. Come on.
I heard weak.
That's your fault. See, this is exactly what we're talking about. So this is
Now, what she did do, which was incorrect, was that she misheard where he placed weak. He said the mindset of these men are weak. Not that men are weak, but the mindset of these men are weak, and there's a big difference. But she was asking a question, therefore answer the question, bro. Like, I don't like when people do this, like, to people to make them feel crazy. Men or women do this. Let's be honest and let's be true. You understand? Yeah.
Question my words.
Right.
Let me tell you what the problem. Let me tell you what the problem is. When you throw a word in, you're changing the meaning of what I'm really trying to say. I'm trying to say that they fit, that's how they feel. That's not the situation. That's not the reality.
Why
but
does she have to be arrogant?
Yeah,
Why
I
does she just be
I should be asking a woman why she has to be
No,
arrogant. I should be asking her.
I'm
why.
asking
about the wrong
you
word,
because
yeah.
if there's this, like, Oprah Winfrey,
yes.
would you consider her arrogant?
I never met her. I don't know.
Why can't
So this
she's
is the thing. This is the thing. Listen.
I'm gonna tell you.
Do you know how mad that is? Okay, listen. Do you know how mad it is? How do you know that women who are successful are arrogant? And when she asks you, is Oprah Winfrey arrogant? I don't know. I've never met her. Have you met a lot of these women that you're talking about? You haven't. So let's keep it 100% trill. I can tell you that because when we look at someone, when we just have the conversation and understand how the psychology works, I can tell you there's arrogance on both sides. Have I met so many successful women to tell you that? No, I can't say that. So if you tell me Oprah Winfrey, is she arrogant? I might say to you, listen, I actually don't know 100%. I'm going to be honest with you. But she's obviously able to put that arrogance aside because obviously she's able to date a man like Stedman. But the principle is what we're dealing with, right? So the principle is if she's able to date someone like Stedman who's lower down, then I would assume she's not arrogant. Right? But he couldn't answer if she was arrogant or not. So how would you be able to answer the actual question that successful women are actually arrogant? How can you? See in an argument, if someone's smart enough, if they give the logic, they're gonna destroy us, man.
This is the difference. This is the difference between Oprah Winfrey and the millions of other successful women.
Okay, take your average successful woman.
An average successful,
arrogance?
absolutely. And this is the thing. You got okay. Who?
Go ahead.
But y'all successful women are socialized to date up.
Yeah.
So you guys want a man who will be the head of the household, who will be the breadwinner, who will still be that male dominant figure while you guys also have that same status. The thing is, 90%, 99% of successful men don't want to deal with other successful, intelligent women.
Why?
And this is where the women get offended because they actually think, you see, what they fail to miss is when they are at the bottom, okay, well, not even at the bottom, when they're not successful, they're dating up. They don't want to date broke men, right? They date broke men when they're naive, but when they get sense, they want to date up. They want to date men who are secure financially, probably who are breadwinners, those who have money, those who are secure. They want to date men that are beyond them. No, it's not beyond them if they can't get them. It's in they're ahead of them, right? In that area of that department. But notice immediately as he says to them, men don't want to date women that are intelligent, successful. There's an instant visceral reaction, and let's just pay attention.
Where's the arrogance? No, my issue is with the word arrogance.
Okay, but we're also saying why y'all are single.
Jared, do you think that's true?
What do you mean y'all are single?
Hold up.
A lot of successful women are in amazing relationships with strong men who aren't so don't have such a big ego that they can handle a woman.
This wouldn't be an issue then. This wouldn't be a topic if that was the case.
A woman making more money than him.
That's not the case. And I'm not saying
why
that.
Why does she have to be arrogant though?
Because
right now, the men haven't been able to explain fully why the women are arrogant. And that's why there's a contention at the moment, because the first word is an attack. The word arrogant has a heavy label and there's a connotation behind it. So instantly when you say someone is arrogant, you've placed a certain label on it. It's a bit like saying someone's a narcissist. The conversation is going to be starting from -0, right? Because that word arrogance is going to cause people to not want to hear. But I love the fact that they're still being able to have the conversation because they're staying in it and they're listening at least. And at least having a conversation around it before they attack fully. So let's keep watching.
I think it's a certain air. It's a certain air that you guys give off. It's an aggressive. It's very aggressive. I had to work to get here. So like, I feel like women, if you
wouldn't you want to do that anyway for any woman to work to get her love?
I think I would. But what men naturally look, men say they want an intelligent woman.
This is the
they
point.
say that,
okay.
But in all actuality and reality, they don't. I believe that men,
and that's the crucial point of this whole particular thing. Sorry, that's the crucial thing of this whole situation. Men say they want these things, but they don't. Because the truth and the reality is, due to patriarchy, we must stay on top, and we must choose a woman who will make us feel like we are on top because of the way that even women think due to patriarchy. Because of how patriarchy makes women think and men think, if that woman, and it's going to come up later on in the show, I don't know if we'll have time to go through it, where the woman was like, and eventually she's going to come around to, I can't respect a man who's not on my level or not above me. So patriarchy now is a vicious cycle because one, I don't want to adhere to it, but I do adhere to the rules, which is that I should be a provider, I should lead, I should be assertive, all these kind of things. And that makes me a man, and that makes me a man that's desired. And then the woman will want to pine after a man who's able to do these things, financially secure, emotionally stable, all those kind of things, right? That make up the construct of a patriarchal man. Okay. And so in the scenario now, okay, that they're discussing, let's watch a little bit more and I'm going to explain what I mean.
Think that they want a strong, intelligent woman until it's really put in front of them.
So now here's the arrogance of men. And this is where the men should have helped the women understand that they got arrogance, but they've also got arrogance. This is where self-reflection really starts to pay a big dividends. Because the reason why men can't date these type of women, it's not because, and that's what's funny. It's funny how they could spot the arrogance in successful men and successful women, but the mere arrogance that a man can't date a woman who's more successful or more funny or more intelligent or has more money than them speaks to arrogance itself. It's a pride issue. You don't want someone greater than you in your relationship. That's a pride issue. And so the vicious cycle is that now the women too who are successful don't want to date someone who's quote unquote lower down than them, because that's what patriarchy does to you. It informs you on how to think.
When it's put in front of them, that the whole thing changes. It's like, oof, this ain't what I'm used to, brother. You know what I mean? So it's an unfortunate thing because, strong women are amazing. I know my mom to be a strong woman. So
Okay, so now we're conflating issues and conflating words. Strong woman, that was not what successful women was meant to be doing. And that's the problem with the men at the moment, is the way they're describing it. They're describing a successful woman as strong and aggressive. And I believe that definitely in business, it's cutthroat. You're going to have to be aggressive. And there is some measure of being strong. But the point is, he's now labeled successful woman as strong. And we understand the trope and we understand the negativity that comes behind a black woman when she's labeled as strong. She's labeled as overly masculine. And the issue here is actually not masculinity. The issue here is that she wants to date up. It's actually her female nature that's beginning to play. And I mean her core female nature, the one that we see in Genesis 3:16, that the Bible says that the woman will try to control the husband, but in the end, the man will rule over her and she'll pine after her husband. That's what's at play right now. The female nature in that respect. Some red pill stuff, I'm not gonna lie to you, but like I said, I never disagreed with red pill. It's just the way they used to say things.
I would think that's what I want, but most men, when it's put in front of them, they want to keep that status.
And that is unfortunate
wow.
because there's
the truth comes out.
Now, you heard him say that men want to keep this status. That is quintessentially the answer of the question. Because of status, arrogance will set in. And the same thing is going to happen to the women. They can't date down because of the status. Arrogance kicks in. And this is why successful women find it harder to date, because there are no men on their plateau and higher up that they can socially climb up with. So now the issue is no longer the issue is that there's no men to look up to and climb up to, and now they can only look at people who are below them, seemingly in status.
There's actual research with you saying that unfortunately men want a certain outlook of a woman, but then internally it's totally different. 105 men were researched by researcher Laura Park. Okay, they found that when they took an intelligence test, the researcher says there's a woman down the hallway that beat you in that intelligence test. The majority of those 105 men, once they heard that, they'd rather want the woman that didn't beat them. In that intelligence, as a romantic partner.
That's what we would want. We're not speaking about us personally. We're talking. I want them guys.
No, you don't have to lie, bro. You speaking about you. You speaking about you, bro. You speaking about you.
I think that the issue is a woman then. Whatever.
Even me, I'm not gonna lie to you, because part of me thinks it. I do it. I do it subconsciously, and I don't even realize. Do you understand? Because I'm also conscious of the fact that she may be also looking down at a brother because of patriarchy. But we're all affected by it. So unless I know your mentality and I know your mind in and out, I'm avoid you. In fact, I did it. I remember when I was younger, I did it with a particular girl. Listen, the girl was intelligent, and not only intelligent, she was able to apply it. And I saw that and I said, I can't rock with this girl, brother. Now the girl was flying high, blood, doing big boy things, international things. I never stepped to it because I said, I can't run your race, and I will slow you down. You understand? You know, the shoe was not fitting me, brother. You understand? And that's cool. That's cool. I know where I stood. Do you know what I'm saying?
I don't think the issue is the woman then.
Right. That's my question is still, why is she arrogant? You just said you want...
Hold on. I think that the issue here is probably, most likely, that men are just the arrogant ones who can't deal with women who are successful.
I agree with that.
Because the thing is that a woman, this is the thing about women. Women, because if a woman who is, let's say, more intelligent, let's say, than a specific man, would understand how a man who's very egotistic would act. So she would understand that there's certain things that I can't say to this guy because I'm gonna hurt his feelings.
That's not the truth. The truth of the matter is a woman who's intelligent, super intelligent, will look for another guy in most cases, not all, in a lot of cases where she'll look for another intelligent male. She'll look for a more intelligent male or a man of greater status, greater wealth, or greater power. Okay? I hate to say it, it's red pill, but it is the truth. When you look at dating and you look at how women date and you watch them and you see them and you observe them, they date up. They date up or around them. Right? They when they date down, they oftentimes are settling. Right? And they're not happy. Yeah, in those cases.
Like we're very perceptive of that. And we're always walking on them.
Yeah.
But when it comes around the other way, it's like, nah, she's too arrogant. She thinks she's better than me.
I think guys work on eggshells.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I like to find a common ground. And I've dated women with a certain status. Larger than mine. So it's to my understanding that having these conversations, like they would state, well, listen, when I got to this certain place, I was humble. I gave guys chances. I gave the hood guy with no ambition chance. I gave this guy a chance. Hold on. She tried to be humble in her approach. And so now it's like, well, no, I want to get what I deserve. So I understand that with women. I just don't think that you should generalize everyone in the same category as to someone who is a protected.
I look at the difference between arrogance and confidence, though. Like, why is it that a woman who is successful, powerful, confident in herself and her abilities is seen as arrogant?
Because the way that the masculine...
Because she's a woman.
Yeah,
you're looking at her.
No. That's successful. See, so at the moment that she can't understand why they're being labeled as arrogant, until she's able to see that when she's choosing, that's when the arrogance kicks in. It's not that you look down on people and you're snotty and snobby. No. It is simply the fact, the air of, I can't date down. Like my state is solidified. Whereas men can say, I can date down in terms of her status, but he'll probably measure it out with her beauty. Right? And women do the exact same thing. If they're going to date a man who's not of status, of power and wealth, they will date a man with good D and they'll date a man with good looks. I am not kidding. It's actually happens in this actual video. One of the girls actually says it. So, they said, he'll measure up with other things. So, the female nature, unfortunately, and the male nature, the female nature and the male nature are set in the way that they view life. We uphold patriarchy because those are the natures of men.
Women look down on men that have a lower status and lower class. All right. So when you're saying
I disagree though.
No, why?
You look down on somebody who has
because how about if that man is trying?
I can't.
How about if that man is trying? So you're saying you're saying that's settling to go down to that's what I feel like most successful.
Date someone with a lower.
Date somebody. This is what women successful. This is what successful.
There's definitely a difference between arrogance and confidence. I mean, I think there's a total misconception that women that make it to a certain place in their lives, that are successful, that have everything that they want and need, are arrogant. And I don't think that's the case. I think they're confident. But just because they're women, they're seen as arrogant. And I think there's a total double standard in that. That's not right.
What women need to get in their head.
Oh,
absolutely,
like that.
absolutely.
Like that.
We're gonna get down and dirty, right? What
Okay.
women need to get in their head is dating a man with lower status, a lower class, is not settling. Settling is putting yourself second. Eventually, essentially putting yourself. That is not, because you're dating a man who sees you as.
So did you hear what she said? Listen again. She said, when you date a man down, that is settling. Do you see? So that's where I'm talking about the arrogance. They don't realize it's arrogance because they see it as a preference. But it's the same thing with men. Men don't want to date women up, because it's arrogance. Your arrogance won't allow you to see someone else lower than you, and the arrogance of men won't let them see women that are higher than them, because that's how the masculinity plays itself out in both parties, and that's how the when status becomes important, how it changes individuals and their viewpoints. Just listen again.
What women need to get in their head.
Oh,
absolutely,
like that.
absolutely.
Like that.
We're gonna get down and dirty, right? What women need to get in their head is dating a man with lower status, a lower class, is not settling. Settling is putting yourself second, eventually, essentially putting yourself. That is not, because you're.
Do you notice that she said that is putting yourself second when you date a man of lower status? So she doesn't even realize herself. She's gone into the arrogance that they're talking about. Both men and women do this. Both men and women do this. I'm just saying, but she's gone into it because for her, she cannot go below the status. She can't humble herself to go and need her status. And I've got no beef for that. I ain't got no beef for that. It's female nature. They will always want to date up. I've got no beef for that. This is why men will choose women who are not as successful. It's very simple. It's just put in front of you. That's why men will not, because they can see that women who are successful will not handle them who are not as successful. It's a vicious circle, because is it chicken or egg? You know what I mean? Is it chicken or egg? It's oftentimes the men who start off. Anyway, it's their own system. It's uphill. But this is something that's as a result of the fall of man.
You're dating a man who sees you as first, who supports you as a successful woman. Listen,
Go ahead.
Can I finish?
Go ahead. Mm-hmm.
No. So if you're dating a man who does not see you first, that is essentially putting yourself second. If you date a man who has a lower class, who might not be as successful as you, but always sees you as the number one black queen, then that is not settling.
Jonathan, of course there's always exceptions to the rules, but as a generalized statement, all of us want to do better in our lives. You have kids, you want your kids to do better in life, okay? And some of the times, yes, that's going to mean trying to uplift yourself, uplift your economic situation, your socio-economic situation. And what's wrong with that? What's wrong with that? What's wrong with that for myself?
If you can't find it, don't disrespect the men that don't want a successful woman. That's arrogance.
But don't disrespect me and call me names because I want better.
I think that a lot of men.
I think that's very, very true. Like, the fact that the very mere fact it's hypocritical to call her arrogant without calling yourself arrogant for not wanting to date up. You know what I mean? Because a lot of men wouldn't date up. That's the honest truth. Unless they're trying to get a come up. So, that she made a very good point there, and I don't disagree with her at all. And that's why until somebody alludes to the fact that both of them are arrogant, this will keep going back and forth, because they will feel like they're being attacked, and the men will feel like their women are not listening and being defensive. The men need to perceive that just as the women are being arrogant, they're also being arrogant.
A lot of men, that this is why I'm on kind of the other side of what, the majority of men think. A lot of men need to get in their head that, brother, just because a woman is more successful than you, that should be a turn on.
Right.
The equal playing field. I'm the type of man, when I get a wife, I'm going to be taken, if she has a 1 week business trip that she has to go to, and I somehow have the time to take care of the kids, cook for the kids, I'm going to do what is, stereotypically what, the wife should do, cooking, the taking care of the kids. I don't care. I don't care. I find a woman being able to take care of me and showing that love to me,
what do you mean?
Extremely sexy, and
they're not looking for that.
It's something that
Cody, they're not looking for that, Cody. They're not looking to. Did you hear the women? They're not looking to take care of you. They're not looking to take care of you, sir. Please.
I want in a woman, but then I want to do the same for her. And my thing is, with any relationship, it should be level playing field, 50-50. What I'm going to do for you, you're going to do for me, because I love you. And I'm going to show that love through all the things that I do for you. That's just how I feel. that type of man.
But do you understand how much love that your wife would give you and appreciate you? The fact, like, you would be the happiest man ever.
Now pause. And I'm gonna end it on here. If you guys want to see more of a review, you better leave some comments down below and let me know that you want to see more of a review. Now pause. And the pause is here. That was the same woman that said a minute ago, dating down or someone who's got lower status means that it's her settling. So how can she now talk about how a wife would love to have a man who supports her by being in the kitchen, being a stay-at-home mum? It's incongruent at the moment. The two are not meshing very well. We've got water and oil going on right now, sis. And that's unfortunately a paradox, because she actually hasn't thought about her answers fully through and taken it to its natural conclusion. You started off by saying it is settling, and now you're saying the woman would be the happiest woman ever. No, the woman might be happy at first, but due to the fact what you said, that you would feel like you're dating down, you're going to be annoyed. In the end, you're going to be unsatisfied. I'm not satisfied with where I've been. Oh, my voice feeling crispy at 2 o'clock in the morning. Guys, make sure you like, share, subscribe if you want to see more of this kind of content, or you want to see me drop more parts to this particular video, because it's actually an hour-long video, and I'll leave the description in the description. I'll leave the link in the description, baby. Let me know if you want to see more of this by commenting down below, and make sure you as well smash the like button as well. Then I know that you really like it. Do you understand? And I'll do more of this particular video. All right, guys, make sure you stay locked and stay loaded. We will see you soon. Little playbook, you know what time it is. Stay hydrated. Oh, that note was off.